we're gonna. Oh, I'm gonna tell you what we do. I'm gonna tell you what we do about it right now.
Okay.
Don't worry. We're gonna get to that. We're live. We're live now.
Okay.
Welcome everyone. Welcome everyone to our fascinating end of the week show here on the Daily Success Fire Power Up something. I'm John Lavetti. I'm here with you on this beautiful, fun Friday the 13th. Bam!
Yahoo!
Oh, yay! There's Jan. There's Missy. Look at all these awesome people. Let's get on gallery view here so I can see some of my favorite people.
You talking to
There's
me?
Kelly. Hello. And there's Ann. Jan, you've got that mug. That mug just keeps showing up. Hey, Sammy and Linda, Rachel, welcome. Delia and Crystal's here. We got Michael, of course. Hey, Laura, good to see you. Amber, Pauline's here. Hey, Pauline. And John's here. Astride, Sharna. Always a pleasure to see Sharna. TCC is here. Awesome. There's Sarah. Hey, Sarah, good to see you. You got a cat? You know what? It's Fun Friday, so we need to go ahead and show animals, don't we?
For sure.
Hold on a second here. I got Butch here with me today. He's chilling. Hold on. Keep chilling, buddy. Keep chilling. You just keep relaxing.
Where'd you go? Oh, there he is.
It's all good. Here he is.
Oh, look at that.
Oh, you guys look
Everybody's
so
favorite
He's
three-legged
Butch.
chihuahua.
cutie.
All right. Boy. Who else? Who else has an animal in your
You
mix?
turn it on again, Missy.
This is my little
Here.
cat.
Right now.
Turn your phone back on, Missy. It went
Oh,
black.
sorry. This is my angel who passed away in October.
Aw.
He
All right,
was,
if we're doing dead dogs and cats.
Oh, my God.
I got a live one. Here's my Jaguar. There's Jaggy.
can't see him.
I don't see Jaggy.
That's him? Hey, Jag.
Oh, there he is.
There.
Walking through the Zoom meeting. Yeah, he's a big
There's
one.
Michael. There's Michael.
Hi, Nicole.
Hi,
Look at all the cats all of a sudden.
It was
Aw.
Siamese.
Sorry, buddy.
From China.
Right.
Okay. Whoop. Gotta rearrange
right.
myself now after that.
Okay, who's got a joke to tell? We need a joke.
Dear Bubbles.
Okay. So we're gonna tell
A positive
lift the
joke.
mood here a little bit. We're gonna lift the mood. Who's got a joke? Come on. That's policy.
Does it have to be clean like
I have a true story joke.
Come on, bring it.
I have a true story joke. I've been up. I'm quite impressed with myself. I was up at like 6:45 this morning. Normally I get up around 9:30, 10:30, depending. So I'm all excited. I'm going to get this done. I'm going to make sure that I get my first listing. And I spent all day, went to the library, spent 6 hours in the library going through niches. And I must have written another 50 different phrases for mugs. I'm all excited. I've got through I redid Rachel's videos, so I was all excited, ready to go today. I have not been able to do one listing today. It is computer problems and printer problems and weird stuff, and it's just, you know what? Sometimes you just gotta go, what the heck? You know what? It's gonna be a great day anyway. As long because I'm happy about the fact that I'm still focused on doing what I can, and I think it's great that we get together today and joke around and have a great opportunity to share with one another. And I'm just laughing at myself for being so focused and so on point and getting such little progress done. I just gotta go, what the heck? It's the 13th. Here I am.
Here we are. Somebody's saying, Andre, yes, Friday the 13th. I wouldn't put too much weight on that unless you're like really into superstitious kind of stuff. But hey, you know what? Not every
It's a lucky
day
day.
is the bonanza. I had, thank you for sharing that, Michael. I had an interesting week as well. A fascinating week. Fascinating. And so you know what I mean when I say it's fascinating, right?
Fascinating,
What
you
the
say.
hell are these people thinking? That's the translation. What the hell
okay.
are these people thinking?
Where's your mug? What the heck?
Yeah, right,
Oh.
exactly. So yeah, what am I thinking, right? So that would be wait, right? Right. But we have, for those who don't know the joke, I don't have the mug here with me now. It's down in the kitchen, but last week we got to demo the mug that Missy and Jan made for me, and it says done on one side and wait on the other. My favorite 4-letter word and my least favorite 4-letter word. And they made a little acronym out of it. Lots of fun. Thank you again, ladies. But the thing is that I have, there's ups and downs in life. I don't know if I'm just stating the obvious. I think I am. I'm stating the obvious here. There's ups and downs. And one of the things that we started with today, before we went live, for those of you who are just tuning in, is, there's tech problems and there's people problems. There's problems, right? Yeah. And in life, we get to, assuming that we're conscious of, what we're choosing to do with our time and our work and everything, we get to pick our problems. And this is an interesting way to look at it too, because I know that as much as I could sit around and gripe about, this person didn't do what they said they were supposed to do, and, the technology didn't work and all this other stuff, there's people in the world with like real problems, like dying of starvation and dodging bullets and everything else. Okay. So first thing I could offer is a bit of gratitude that here we are dealing with first world problems. All right. So that's good. But the rest of it is, now, how do we solve those problems? It doesn't mean we sit here in a state of acceptance and just, although I think the serenity prayer is probably, you guys are familiar with Reinhold Lieber's serenity prayer? God, grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, the courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. And that's where I typically get stuck, is the wisdom to know the difference, right? Part of being a responsible person is also knowing what you're not responsible for, okay? That is my post, and I shall man my post. That is not my post. And you damn well better man that post, right? But in any organization, because none of us are doing this in an island, somewhere. I mean, your customers don't live on that island with you, right? We're going to use the internet. We're going to reach people. We're going to deal with suppliers and, distribution chains and platforms like Amazon and Etsy and all this stuff, right? All the vias, right? That get your product or whatever you're offering into the hands of the person who's purchasing it. So all of those vias are potential problems that are designed, I'll go ahead and mute the mics, we got a little background noise, that are designed to what? To accelerate and save you time and automation, and it's all nice when it works. When it works. But what happens when things break down? And that's life, right? We could say, well, we're dealing with people and people are fallible. Okay, well, what if it was just machinery? Is machinery fallible? I used to be, before I was, in the world that I'm in now, I was a diesel mechanic. The machines break? Yeah. So pick your problems, right? There's always going to be something that you get to address, overcome, and work with, or cause it to work with you. In other words, to not be the effect of all these other inputs or conditions or circumstances that seem to be uncongenial and going against your purposes, okay? But to actually find solutions and ways to turn those things around. But since we're dealing with people largely, okay, because we're in what world are we in here? Sales, marketing of products to consumers, right? So sales and marketing, which is all based on what? Which is all based on one particular skill, and that skill is communication. That's it. Right? That's why we read books. That's why we show up in conversations like this. That's why we get trained and we study, right? So that we can induce others to want to exchange with us via coffee cups, t-shirts, whatever it happens to be, because we're in communication with them. They're like, yeah, I want that. Sell me that. Here, have some of this money. Right? So that's the end product of all of it, is someone receiving the benefits that they didn't know existed, 5 minutes ago before they met you, right? But now, here, have some money. I want that thing. Via, here's suppliers and distribution channels and what have you. So back to the idea that Missy brought up just before we went live. And that is when people don't do what you think they should do or what they agreed to do. I think you all know the title of my first book, Integrity is Everything. I put a lot of weight on my own ability to keep my word. I intend to be impeccable with my word. For me, if I don't have that, I don't have a shot. Like, don't listen to me. I won't even listen to me. If I can't trust me, I got no shot. Reaching goals and all this other stuff, liar. right? So I can't live like that, right? So for me, integrity is everything. Okay. And when I'm conscious, right, and I'm doing the right thing and I'm doing what I said I was going to do, then things flow better in my life. That doesn't mean I'm free of all problems. So back to this idea of here's a distribution channel or manufacturing operation where there's an individual or individuals who are not manning their post. Okay, let's look at that. In any organization, and this is what was about to come out of my mouth just before we went live. In any organization, there are people who are going to have different operating strategies, which may or may not serve the purpose of their post, right? So I am the cook, okay, and that's my post in the kitchen, okay, and I didn't cook the broccoli right? So I did not apply the right operating strategy to that. That can happen. That can happen. That's, we can make new broccoli. That's going to be fine. It's not as profitable to make the broccoli again because you ruined the first batch. But you got to have a different strategy on that, or you need to get somebody else on that post. Here's where the real difficulty, the frustration comes in. And here's the fascinating part with all of it, is that people don't make decisions based on what is ostensibly or objectively the optimal solution or the optimal outcome. People tend to make decisions and operate with whatever strategy they're operating or fail to operate based on their chronic emotional state. Okay, now we can have ups and downs too. I talked about ups and downs, okay? But how a person typically is emotionally is how life occurs to them. Take, for example, here's a wonderful opportunity, right? Guess what, everyone? I've got an opportunity for you. The opportunity is that you get to engage in this beautiful, bonanza of e-commerce, and great news, great news. This is a much more accessible approach than the people who right now are also engaging in e-commerce and attempting to source products from Vietnam and China and India and God knows where, and dealing with customs and bill of lading and shipping problems, and the product shows up moldy and they got the artwork wrong on the label, and you're already out $100,000, by the way, okay, before you've ever sold a damn thing. Okay, so great news, you don't have those problems. You don't have those problems. Sounds like a good opportunity. I think you would all agree, because you're here right now. Fantastic. I just kind of described, Rachel's approach and low hanging and all that. So you've enrolled in that opportunity. Guess how many people haven't? Because of my filters, right? I have a different perspective on that, right? There are people, no matter how good the opportunity is, no matter how good the product or the service or whatever the offer is, will not see it the way you see it. There are people who no matter what, nothing works. Everything's a problem. Everything's a scam. Everything. Is that the truth? Ostensibly, no. But is it the truth for them? Well, let's look at their filters. So here's a person, let's say, in our hypothetical example, here's a person who is chronically in a state of, let's say, fear. That's their typical emotional state. Scared of everything. That doesn't mean they're running around like looking for vampires coming out of the walls or anything. Okay, but fear nonetheless, right? How are they going to be taken, right? Other people, let's say, could be in a chronic state of anger, right? They like to stop everything. They like to argue, and everything's a stop. Okay, there are other people who let's lighten it up a bit, right? They are conservative, right? Like, yeah, okay, well, sounds good. We'll weigh the pros and cons. We'll make a logical decision on this. So they're, we could say, level-headed, right? They're kind of middle of the road, right? There's other people that are like way enthusiastic, like, really, we could do that? Oh my goodness, I got some other ideas that we could do too. That's got to work, right? In fact, if we combine that with that, right, everything works. Everything works. And is that real too? Yeah, I could tell you that looking at all the different sorts of businesses that I've had my hands in and the countless entrepreneurs I've worked with, yeah, anything can work. Who's doing it? That enthusiastic person, or a person at least with, the ability to look at facts and make a logical decision, or the person who's always pissed off and stops everything, or the person who's afraid of everything and that everything is out to get them. Again, we can have ups and downs, and we can, kind of get lofty or get low, and get off of our chronic position on that. But there's actually a book by Dr. David Hawkins, who was an applied kinesiologist. And if you don't know what that is, look it up. But the idea that he offered, and the book was called Power versus Force: The Hidden Determinants of Human Behavior. The hidden determinants of human behavior. You ask somebody, why'd you make that decision? They may give you an answer, but is it the right answer? Probably not, right? They make decisions based on, I say they, but we should say we, right? We make decisions based on who we are, internally, emotionally, even subconsciously, not so much, what is the evidence, which we may or may not be able to see, right? Because my filters, I don't even see your opportunity, right? Okay, so now we're dealing with people. So not only do they have different operating strategies, back to the kitchen. So you burned the broccoli. Okay. Do you accept responsibility for that? Right? Are you going to correct your wrong? Are you going to have the integrity to get that handled? Or are you going to pass it off on somebody else? You're going to blame somebody? Okay. Should you even be in that post? Right? I mean, there's a degree of responsibility that comes with making broccoli. Okay. And if this person keeps showing up at the scene of the crime every time the broccoli is burnt or whatever, I don't know anything about cooking. Okay. I guess you just blanch it, right? A little bit of steam or something. There's the broccoli. Okay. But might not be a good example, but you get the point. Is like, so now how is this person going to show up having recognized possibly, or having their face put in the fact that their strategy doesn't work? This broccoli sucks. Okay. You made it. All right. How do they deal with that? Some of us would be mortified. Oh, I can't believe I burnt the broccoli. Let me fix this right now. In fact, here, have free broccoli, right? Customer comes first, right? Very intent on delivering a pleasing experience to the eater of the broccoli, right? Others, well, you shouldn't order broccoli, like, why is broccoli even on the menu? Who put broccoli on the menu today? Pass the buck, blame, right? Why? Who is that person? Where are they coming from? Like, from what position, emotionally, physiologically, psychologically, are they approaching their post? So here's the thing: when we get into organizations of people, and I know this may seem like an advanced conversation on interpersonal relationships in the workplace, because it is, okay, but we get into organizations, we've got people who are chronically in various emotional states. And it's typically the high emotional state people who carry the rest of the group. Okay. And that's why when we can look at, I know that the idea of equity is a hot topic in certain, I guess, civic and political agendas right now. But the idea that there are people who are going to rise above mediocrity and who are going to outproduce others and the masses and whatever. And is there a way to level that, not just the playing field, because the playing field is already level, but is there a way to level the outcome, which has never worked ever in history of the world? Okay. But there are people who think that can be done. What we find is that it's impossible, because there is such a thing as individuality and self-determinism. And there are people who are more solution oriented, and there are people who are more failure oriented. So it's the most able or enthusiastic or solution oriented who will make the rest of the operation work. If there's enough people who don't take responsibility for burnt broccoli, the organization fails. So, and look, I've been around, you might find this funny, but here are customer service reps, not here. I'm not talking about here in our organization, but there are companies that I've consulted with where you would swear that the so-called customer service reps were actually in the sales prevention department. Okay, so they're going to make sure that any customer who walks through that door doesn't stick. It's like the old airplane, the airlines motto: we're not happy until you're not happy. So, they're going to make sure that their personal discontent with life or whatever rubs off onto anyone they come into contact with, even if that's the most important person in the company, who, by the way, is the customer, in case you're wondering who the most important person is. Okay, but they are the sales prevention department. We're not happy until you're not happy. So what do you do with a person like that? Well, if you're the senior, right? If you're the manager, if you're the person who is an executive in some way, you get to make decisions about, where else they might find gainful employment, because it's not going to be here, right? If people don't keep the main thing, if the purpose isn't the product, right? And what is the product? Happy, smiling customer. That's the product. Okay. If that's not what's on the mind of everyone, from accounting to reception, to customer service, to marketing, to sales, to executive, to janitor, there's an out point there. There's organizations like Ritz-Carlton, I think, is one of them. And what was another one? I heard a story of one of these hotels. Might have been a JW Marriott. It was a nicer place, but there was someone who was washing the windows up on a ladder, and here is this elderly woman who has her baggage, and she's struggling with the door. She needs to get out the door or whatever. Guy comes down off of the ladder, opens the door for the woman. It like stops everything, right? He's up in a precarious position there, cleaning windows up high, comes in and helps the woman with the door, goes back to his work. It's his pleasure to do so. Why? Because the product isn't the window, right? We'll get the window clean. Right now, this woman needs help. That's enormous, right? And that is what? That's a conscious person. That's a person who, in fact, it may have been Hilton who said, we don't teach our people to be nice. We just hire nice people, right? So something like that, where there's something internal that drives the operating strategy that makes that person an asset to the organization. So I guess here's the bottom line with all this. Are you an asset to your organization? And you can assess that for yourself by looking at, am I solution oriented or am I problem oriented? Am I more typically or more chronically in a productive, advancing state and mindset, or drowning in troubles and problems and I can't, and what the hell is wrong with everybody, right? Because that either one is a self-fulfilling prophecy. And I'm not saying that we just give a pass to people who don't man their post. No, but keep in mind, everyone here, you've got the power. You're actually pretty powerful, right? In the way that, in some ways, let's say with distribution channels and things like that, you're the customer. You're the customer. You're the person whose business they want to continue to have, right? So you're in a powerful position. Yes, you're in an executive position, a decision maker's position. And you know what? I can tell you that the squeaky wheel gets the oil. So I don't know all the logistics of, everything that happened or has to happen behind the scenes with every particular post in every organization that will touch yours. But you're the executive of your organization. And now you get to decide who's on your staff and who's not. I will say this for anyone who's here listening to me talk right now, thank you for allowing me to be on your staff. And whatever title you'd like to give me, you guys know I'm not attached to titles. I keep forgetting what the hell my title is. I don't care about the titles. Okay, but performance coach, friend, mentor, business guide, fine, call it whatever you want. But just the fact that you're in this conversation means that you've hired me to give you some insights on some ways that you could be more effective in this endeavor that you're engaging in right now. Because you can go anywhere and make money. You can go do whatever you want. We'll get a job, we get another job, start a different business, buy a franchise, panhandle. I mean, there's lots of ways to get money, right? You guys chose this. I'm here to help you like do something of note with it. Go make a spectacle of yourself, right? Do it. And then you'll recognize even more how powerful you are, right? As a person who not only is engaging in, various operations with different people and vendors and everything else, but doing so with volume and with magnitude. And I think if nothing else, if we got nothing else out of this conversation today, hopefully we can get the idea that who I am being in present time is a person who's level-headed enough to just be a bit objective and to recognize that, you know what, this person's problem doesn't have to be my problem. I can look, I can observe, and I can make decisions based on where I want to go and how I want to feel about my operations and business relationships and the end product that I am here to deliver, because I said so, because I have integrity, and my end product is happy, smiling customer drinking out of my coffee cup or whatever it happens to be, wearing my t-shirt. That's the product. And anything that helps me do that, well, now you're my ally. Anything that doesn't help me do that, well, you got to get out of the way. And that's the way I look at it, for what it's worth. And in my case, it's been worth millions. So I'll just keep using that strategy, and we'll see where that continues to go. Who else has some ideas on this very lighthearted, fun Friday the 13th topic? Cynthia, you have the floor, my friend. Hi, Cynthia.
Missy, Jan, my heart is truly going out to you. I am in a different but suspended place, and I've been fighting this for weeks. But you want to know what, John, I really relate to what you're saying today. I've lived it almost 40 years in sales and marketing. And what I've realized about myself, and I'm not discounting your pain, anybody's pain, but what I've realized along the way is the more I focus on it, the worse it gets sometimes. And sometimes I just have to step away from the mine, M-I-N-E, and just, you've done everything you can. You can't do anything else. The only thing I can do is change my thinking, my expectancy. I'm sure Missy and Jan, you have already done that. You're just outstanding when it comes to, watching what you think and moving forward positively. But you know what? There's a point where we just can't do anything. We just do what we can do, and we just move on to the next, whatever the next might be. Because I used to get so bogged down that it would just rob my time. And back to your point, John, the other day, is this worth my time, my precious life? It just would consume my time. And so, although I have great empathy for the struggles, because I'm going through one myself right now. And, but yesterday, you know what? After hours on the phone with Etsy again, I'm like, okay, bless it, release it, let it go. That's all I can do.
Okay. And are you sound like you're having a bit of an emotional thing going on.
Well, it's just saving my time. It's like I can relate to, in some measure, mine isn't the same issue as Jan and Missy are having. I haven't even got to get to that point, but here we are, weeks and weeks. And yeah, it's just, it thieves your time. And so, I've just come to the place, okay, I'm going to work on Amazon. I'm going to start tackling that one. And we'll just let the rest of it, it's in God's hands. I have done everything I can do. There's no reason, even by their admission, I've done all I can do. So what do? Keep, beating the dead horse, or do I move forward and just change my focus? That's what I've learned from all the years in sales. I get what I expect. It goes back to what we talked about the other day, I guess maybe yesterday, I don't know, the expectancy thing. I just keep trudging around in that mud bog. And the more I do, I got to step out of the mud bog. I got to step away out of the minefield, because it doesn't mean nothing, no good. It just keeps me in the mud bog. So I've just got to release it to God, and I just have to move forward.
Okay. And have you reached out to the help desk?
Well, really, it's about the Etsy platform. I mean, they don't even see a problem. It's like, but now you get to do it by email. Then you do it by email. Then you call them. Then you do it by email. Then you call them. It's like, yeah, it is. It's part of business. I've done this with the Amazon thing in the past with my Amazon stores, and it just is what it is. Sometimes you just have to accept that this is people, this is life. I don't know how else to say it, because that's why I'm stepping out of the mud bog, because
Okay.
that's when I can really get my head on straight again. That's where
Right.
I can be free again, not to just be so sucked into it all.
Right. Right. Okay. Excellent. Yeah, get a little distance, and then, you know what I'm thinking might be useful, and then I want to hear from Ishmael and others who have their hands up. But what may be useful is kind of along the lines of what we talked about yesterday, with sort of a quick start guide. If a few got together and cited, here are the common problems that Etsy presents, and then make that known as a group. That could be
Thank you.
that could be useful. Yeah, because I don't.
Well, see, this is the problem. I do appreciate that, John, but this is the problem. I'm suspended and nobody knows why. There's nothing I've done wrong. I haven't filled in any blanks wrong. I mean, this is the mystery. So you get on the phone, it takes hours and hours on the phone. We wait, you talk to people, they send you the next one. I mean, it's just one of those things. I've dealt with the same thing at Amazon. I really know in the past, I really know that, both of these are big machines. And so there's a lot of people, I mean, you never talk to the same person twice, right? And they can be nice, and it's nothing against those people. I guess the thing about Gear Bubble, I guess we're closer to the top of the peak right there, because there's just not so many people. And I'm not diminishing what Missy and Jan are going through, but I guess that's the hard part about, we all just have to accept that these are great big machines. That's what I learned with my Amazon stores in the past. They're great big machines. Their turnover is really high. So I just have to make my space sometimes, and I will get victory in it. But it's a great big machine, and they're constantly, I have a nephew who worked for Amazon in a management position. They use people up and then they move on to the next. It's a great big machine. So we're working with a lot of people in these places that I know there's exponential growth going on too. I can only imagine what Gear Bubble's going through with all of us and then everybody else. So there's factors that I don't understand. And so I'm just going to have to leave it with God in that.
Okay.
Thank you, John. I do appreciate it. Sorry to take so much time.
No, I appreciate you and Missy and Jan and everyone here. And so, by the way, this is all being noted. So there's been a lot going on behind the scenes in terms of staff and expansion, and just so you know that you're not alone in the desert. Okay, but my
Thank you.
goodness,
Thank
growing
you.
pains. Yeah, and we don't control Etsy. Just so you know, okay, but there is what now we have volume, right?
Yes.
So there's a voice that happens here. So
Thank you. That's why I'm so thankful to be with all of you. Plus, you're the hand up out of the mud bog. And like Missy said earlier on, maybe it was before we even went live, and that is, it's just like, you just got to get it out. There's some days you just got to get it out to somebody who understands, right?
And thank goodness for that.
Yeah,
And look, you guys can get in
all
here.
of you.
Yeah, you guys can get in here like 24 hours a day. Whenever we're not in session, the room's open and you can do all kinds of venting. We could have like a scream fest where everyone just screams. Right?
Well,
I'm on board.
I really,
Yeah.
up to this point, I really didn't want to go into, because I don't want to scare anybody. This is just doing business,
Yeah.
You know that. Everybody out here probably knows that. It's just part of doing business, and I just got to get a grasp on that.
Understood. Thank you, Cynthia. Ishmael,
Thank you. Thanks,
you're
everybody.
welcome. Ishmael, I see your hand up, but I don't see that you've got a microphone connected. Are you on a phone, or can we hear you, Ishmael? Ishmael? Hello? Yeah, it seems like your sound isn't connected. Nothing. If you can hear us, then something's working, but no microphone. There's no microphone on your account right now. Let's come back to Ishmael. Let's go to Michael and then Missy and then Ishmael.
Okay. I just want to give Cynthia, I have two things, but now I've got the second thing is I'm going to do first. I want to give Cynthia some encouragement because literally yesterday, Adam was talking about this exact same thing. And please, if you get a chance, go to his recordings because he does a live and then he does a recording. And the recording says, or he says in the recording that this is normal. Etsy will automatically shut you down. Expect it to happen. It's nothing to do with you. It's nothing to do with your products. It's nothing to do with the universe. They just do it, apparently.
Yeah.
So if you haven't been shut down at least once or more, then consider yourself lucky. Kind of is what I got from him. And it's just an ongoing.
I did hear Adam, and I have to say that really helped me in knowing that. However, it still remains that, I'm encouraged, John, to hear that you are. I mean, it's been weeks and weeks, and I'm encouraged to know that from Adam. So I really didn't take it that hard at first. But the point being is John, I'm happy to hear that. As an entity, Low Hanging Systems has voice with Etsy and that, because I do think that it's bigger than us. And I'm glad that we're part of this so that the fight can be fought, or that, like with Gear Bubble, same thing, that we have a voice. That's really encouraging.
Which kind of rolls into the first thing I was going to say is that I've learned over the last couple of weeks listening from the members and their technical issues is that I really want to, and I'm sure they do as well, want to get my products up and running and selling and everything else. And I'm ready to go at 120 miles an hour. However, it's hitting these speed bumps at 30 kilometers where you keep having to hit the brakes. And I think that in my mind, I have to recognize that, I want to go fast. I want to get this done. However, I have to recognize that I've got to slow myself down and go as slow as the slowest car kind of thing. In this case, it seems to be Etsy or Amazon. And I was just, I sympathize. I only had one ad on Amazon and they approved it. And we went through all the bells and whistles to make it work. It was on for a month and a half or about, and then they took it down for some kind of violation. Like, you guys set it up. So where's this violation coming from?
So I appreciate that. It is part of the business. And I guess this is all part of us getting conditioned to knowing how to do business in this environment, because it's not gonna take us out and begin down the road here, because we understand it better. And that's to my point with my Amazon store in the past, it just is what it is.
And that diversification, if you have multiple stores on different platforms, then if one goes down, then maybe your Spotify is doing really well. Maybe your eBay is doing really well. I'm trying to think of other stores, but I mean, just an example. If you've got a few different things going on, well, if one happens to have some issues, it's not such a panic because that's not the only one you have. So that's what I like about Rachel's way of doing things. You put a little bit, you got your basket of eggs. You're not going to put all your eggs in one location. You're going to spread them all out so that you've got that. Again, diversification. I'll think of a simpler word than diversification. You're spreading out your opportunities, basically.
Right, so, which we all will come to at a point, even with the Gear Bubbles out there. Print on demands. There are other ones out there, but as we learn this platform, it will be applicable to the other print on demand companies that we can diversify into as well.
Right, guys, we're gonna move on. Thank you, Michael.
Thank you, John. Sorry.
All right, and we're gonna go with Missy and then Ishmael. Hey, Missy, come on out, my friend. I hope some insights were helpful for you today. I didn't solve your problem, but hopefully
it's not. Yeah. I appreciate Cynthia's kindness, but it's not really pertinent because you can't step away from Gear Bubble. And the problem is that there is some kind of glitch where some people are getting tracking numbers to Etsy and some people are not. And once you start getting orders, I mean, for me to get 14 tracking numbers, that was part of what took me 6 hours as well. You have to get this gear bubble number, this fulfillment ID number. And then I had to send all the tracking numbers to my 14 wonderful clients who bought my mugs. But it was a pain in the you know what, because it doesn't make sense that some people are getting them and some people are not. And the person I'm dealing with, Brandon, will not. I have written direct questions. Number one, it's yes or no. He won't answer them. They have a screenshot of me canceling an order. He's ignoring that. He is just ignoring my questions about how can some people get the tracking numbers and some people can't. What is going on? He's saying, well, it's your shipping profile. I said, no, I use the mug shipping profile that Gear Bubble gives. So you can't step back from Gear Bubble when you're trying to get products up. This is the system I know. He's being recalcitrant. He's acting naughty. He's being purposefully evasive. And I started out very polite and respectful. And now, like I said, my Italian comes out when you push certain buttons. I'm trying to change that. I'm trying to be calm, but he's being rude to me now when I've asked him direct questions. So I don't back away from people who do that to me when I need their help. And they have a lot of low-hanging people. And maybe there are some others not even on this meeting who are having the same problem, because starting August 11th, every Etsy customer has to be given a tracking number. That's mandatory. And to go in and get the tracking numbers from Gear Bubble is not simple when it's supposed to be going through. So that's all I wanted to say, but thank you for listening.
Thank you, Missy. And I'm going to ask you to go ahead and write this up and send it to me.
To you.
Okay. Thank you.
I will do that.
Very good. Ishmael, who has a microphone connected to his Zoom appearance. Hello, Ishmael.
No, thank you. Thank you. I don't know. I mean, I'm sorry for everything that's going on with you guys. I mean, I'm sorry that I've missed some meetings. Work has been completely completely toxic for me, but I have to do what I have to do. I have to keep hustling until until I make this up my permanent thing. But I had to chime in today because the total lack of broccoli disrespect was horrifying, John. I'm sorry. I gotta chime in for that. Okay. I mean, you totally disrespected the broccoli, man.
Oh, man, I don't know.
I was horrified, man. I was horright.
You know these things. I never purported to be a chef, man. I don't know. I eat chicken pot pie, man. I don't know nothing.
I ate chicken pot pie. That was horrifying. I mean, it's really horrifying. But like on the other, on a more serious note, everybody that like Cynthia and Missy, I'm sorry you guys are going through all that stuff. I wish we lived closer, because I would love to take you somewhere where we can just go out and drink and do shots and get drunk and forget about Gear Bubble and other places and just have fun. It would be great if we were all together in one place. We would have so much fun.
Well, some of us are going to be doing that in Vegas in a couple months. So if you need more info on that, we need to get together.
That would be awesome, because having a business of your own, it's challenging. It's crazy. You're going to go through it. You're going to go through it. You don't have blinders on when you're going to get into a business. Everybody knows that. Everybody knows that it's not going to be all, hearts and flowers, and everybody's, you're going to go through some stuff, especially with the machine being that Gear Bubble and Amazon and Etsy and whatever other places that we're going to build a business with, we're going to come across. So we're going to have to deal with whatever it is that we're going to deal with. So, just keep your head up and occasionally buy a bottle of, 20-year-old scotch and hide it somewhere. And, when you get done talking to customer service, take a shot. Works for me.
There's one method of therapy, I suppose. I thank you, Ishmael. Here's one other thing I'll offer, whether you drink scotch or not, is this too shall pass. Everything's temporary. Everything is temporary. So Etsy fixes their problems, or Etsy's temporary. right? Those problems are temporary, or Etsy's temporary. So I think problems are going to get fixed. That's what I think. And Gear Bubble, same story. And apparently you're getting some agreement from others who also enjoy Scotch here in the chat. So thank you, Ismail. All right.
My pleasure.
Yeah. But yeah, we got Vegas on the calendar for a couple months from now. So I'm excited about that. Anybody else before we wrap up? Come on down. I know we've got some new members here as well. There is a silver lining. Okay, everything's gonna work out. This works. Astride, do you have a comment, Astride?
I do actually have a question about I know you mentioned the Miracle Morning book for us to read on. However, I went to Amazon. There are so many Miracle Morning books. So which one am I looking at?
The one that I linked you to on the welcome page, or just the original, just the original. There's not a whole lot different. It's just Miracle Morning for different applications, but it's the same, sort of strategy that he offers. So just pick one. Yeah, look at the covers, see which one's talking to you, and get it. And you'll be in good shape. Thanks, Astride.
Thank you.
All right, Rachel. Hello, Rachel. Let's get you out here.
Oh, so I am really sorry that all of this has been happening to people, but I was kind of wondering if anybody had a success story of this last week, because that I think is kind of encouraging and would be helpful for someone. So if someone
Missy sold 14 mugs. Missy sold 14 mugs in like a day, and now we're just finding there's a fulfillment problem. So thank you for that, Rachel, because yes, we get what we think about. That doesn't mean that we, neglect our issues, right? We're going to go ahead and confront problems and solve them. But yeah, thank you. How about you? Do you have a victory to share with us, Rachel? I would love to hear, in addition to your awesome cat, what's working in your life?
I don't have very many victories this week regarding the e-commerce stuff, but I'm an author and I have a book that needs to be edited and sent to my editor on Tuesday. So I got through the first pass of editing and I'm starting the next one today. Wow. And I have until Monday to get that done. But the fact that I got through it all the way through once is a good victory for me.
Yeah, well done. Rachel just wrote a book. How many people do that? 4, right? But how many people do that, right? People talk about writing books. And then people like Rachel actually do. Well done, Rachel. Awesome stuff. Very good. Jules, you got a win to share with us as we wrap up today. Jules Granger. Jules Granger.
Hello, can you hear me?
I hear you now.
Oh, wonderful. This is actually my first time that I've been able to join you. I'm in Australia, so it's 3:40 or 3:50 in the morning. So it's a bit early, but I have a little success story because I hit a snag in the first few weeks. And the snag was that I was trying to open my Amazon Seller Central, and I got to the part where they wanted the driver's license number and expiry. Mm-hmm. Now, the problem is I'm legally blind, so I don't have a driver's license. I'm thinking, geez, how am I going to get past this? And somebody told me that the new proof of age cards are built more like a license these days, because I had an old one from 17 years ago, didn't have an expiry date, but the new ones do. So I went into the, DMV and applied for one of these new cards, and it's finally arrived today.
Nice.
So I'm going to be able to finally open my Amazon account. So that's my success story, that I'm going to be able to open my account finally.
Well done. Congratulations, Jules.
Thank you.
Well done. And here at 4:03 a.m. Australian Eastern Standard Time.
I thought it was earlier than it was. Whoops.
Well, no, we started at 3:15. So no, you've been here the whole time. Yeah. So we're past the top of the hour. Shall we wrap up with that? Any burning desires, something you got to say, or you're going to spontaneously combust? Anyone? Sammy, you good?
Yes. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Oh, good, great, because I've been trying to talk for a while now. Speaking of Miracle Mind, the 6 things that you do in the morning, like I'm okay with exercising and with the reading and with meditating, but the affirmations that like a couple of stuff I'm finding a bit corny. So
Okay.
I've only read the first chapter, so I'm sure they'll get more into it later. But I'm wondering whether like that I have to do everything, or is like, can I pick and choose?
You don't have to do anything. You can do whatever you
No,
want.
just to get the full effect. I mean,
Well, yeah, then get the full effect, and then have an assessment of it once you've done it, but not an opinion about it without having experienced it. The as far as affirmations, pick one that is something that you would want to tell yourself all day anyway, and then just tell yourself in the morning. Here's one for you. Try this one on. This is from Emile Coué from the late 1800s. Every day and every way, I'm getting better and better.
nice.
All
Thank
right.
you.
I don't know if that's corny for you. If it's corny, pick something else. By day and by night, I'm being prospered in all of my interests. Joseph Murphy. How about, the best one is the one that you come up with, right? Could just be one word: wealth,
Right.
success.
And
Right? That's an
there-
affirmation. Right.
Right. And there are affirmations where you put your hand on your heart and you say something out loud. I guess I can pick one of those.
If that's your thing, it's not my thing, you know. Napoleon Hill in his classic book, Think and Grow Rich, talked about autosuggestion. It's that which we tell ourselves about ourselves and where we're going all day long, whether we know it or not. Okay. So that's what we're looking to be a bit more deliberate about.
Right.
So in that way, yeah, pick some words that are powerful for you, or a picture. We think in pictures anyway. What do you want? Right. So put it on the wall. That's an affirmation. That's autosuggestion. Oh, look at the picture. Look at the picture again and again and again. And then this stuff just shows up in your life. Of course, you do the work in the interim, but it's uncanny. Like, oh my goodness, Sammy, there it is. There's the thing I kept thinking about. There it is. So I hope that helps, my friend.
Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. One other bit of help is that if you raise your virtual hand under reactions, if you're on a computer, you click reactions, raise hand, then I'll know you want to speak, because I can't see you that you wanted to say. I mean, we got all these people here. I can only see like 6 people across the top of my screen. So I had no idea you wanted to talk. All right. So look for the raise hand function, and then we can not neglect you. Anyone else that I've neglected? I am not here to neglect.
Let me talk.
Johnny, I was thinking of you. I was in the gym today pumping iron. I was like, yeah, Johnny.
Hey, you better be. I think I saw you in there today. As a matter
Hold
of fact,
on, it's Fun
I
Friday.
saw you
Hold
in
on.
there with all the weight.
Yeah, hold on a second. It's Fun Friday. So do you happen to know a good veterinarian? Yeah, no? I'll tell you why. Because my pythons are sick. That's why.
Wait a minute. I didn't know what the gun show today.
Yeah, we got the gun show going on. What's going on, Johnny?
I do want to touch base, man. Good luck. I do need some success stories. I finally got my verification for Amazon, and I think I got an email from the team, some type of celebration. Just want to say good luck to everybody, and I'll be back Monday with the update, because I told you I'm gonna bother y'all till the check start coming. As long as the check ain't here yet, y'all don't see my face. I'm just gonna let you know. But thank you, everybody.
Glad you're here, Johnny. Glad you're here.
Everybody,
all right.
Enjoy their weekend, everybody. Good luck.
Very good. Have a great weekend, everyone. Let's get back here again on Monday, and we're going to start our week with wins. So I want you to have some wins over the weekend, and every day, of course, but definitely over this weekend. And this way we could start our week on a very high note. I will see you all again.